Welcome everyone here to the Smash Sports Show right here on Smash FM. We're out here on the road here at Fortner Park here in South Yarra, and of course, let's go down to the Apple Isle in particular, and speak with the reigning champions in the TNL in particular. And of course, that is the F45 Cavaliers. And of course, they won their premiership about 3 months ago now. And of course, we've got two very special guests from that Opens team to tell us a bit about it. Thanks, Bree, for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
No worries. Well, I'll get both of you to introduce yourselves and tell us what position both of you played on grand final day.
My name's Shelby Miller and I play in the mid-court, so predominantly in the centre position.
And I'm Hayley McDougall and I play goal shooter.
A bit about the grand final. I know it's 3 months ago, but tell us a bit about the game.
When I think back about the game, all I can really remember is our horrendous start that we had. What were we down again, Hayley? Can you remember?
I think we were down by 8 or 9 in the first quarter. And I remember we all just came off and were like, right, we really need to get ourselves into gear and kick it up a notch. And yeah, it was kind of like we just chipped away back from there, which is really good. And I don't think we really expected to come back quite quickly within that second quarter, but yeah, we're all pretty excited and pretty pumped, I think.
Yeah, I think by half time we chipped it back to almost even, so it was really a big second half in the grand final.
Getting behind, not ideal in a grand final to be behind by so much. I guess, what was the message at quarter time? Because whatever was said, turned it all around very dramatically and very quickly for the remaining 3 quarters.
I'm the captain and I may have said a few words that I probably can't say in the interview. Something along the line of pull your socks up. But I think the coaches also had a lot of probably more helpful analytical advice to go for as well. But really, there were a lot of girls, I think, who hadn't played in a big grand final before. So it was just getting the nerves out and reconnecting and just pretty much saying, can't get much worse than that.
And I think something that was so great about the group was that we could all take on feedback and just say what we needed to say and just be like, look, you need to do this, you need to take this on board. And I think everyone just took on feedback really, really well on that day, and it worked out quite well.
I guess, is there a particular moment in the grand final that you felt we've got the game, it's, we've got a chance to enjoy the moment? I know obviously you want to keep going to the end, but was there a point that you just got a chance just to play out the game knowing that you won the grand final?
Well, for me, before Shelby says it, I know exactly what she's going to say. I think it was there was 2.5 minutes left to go in that last quarter. I think we were up by like 2 or 3, and it was kind of like, right, if we maintain this, and it got to like the last minute and was still up by like 3, and I was kind of like, right, now I can really just relax and have a bit of a settle. So that was the point for me when I was like, right, I can truly just let go and not be so stressed anymore. But yeah, that was for me, and I know what Shelby's going to say now.
Yeah, mine's a little bit different. So I was running the centre position and I was absolutely knackered and I was just living in every moment, and I actually didn't realise it was the end of the game. I thought we still had another quarter to go, and one of my teammates ran up to me and gave me a cuddle, and I was like, what are you doing? Settle down. I've got one more to go. So yes, I definitely didn't have that moment.
So did you look up the scoreboard at any stage, Shelby, in that game? Considering by the sounds of it, you thought you had another quarter left?
Yeah, I'm pretty process driven when I'm on the court, and I wasn't actually looking too much at the scoreboard at that stage. I was just thinking we were playing well and we had one more to go. So I didn't have no idea.
I was going to ask this question a little bit later, but I'm going to forward this question now. So, Shelby, was that a little bit embarrassing for you?
Oh, look, I think winning took over the embarrassment, and I was just more happy than embarrassed.
When the final whistle went, was there a relief?
Definitely. I think for me it was a big relief. I think because there's always such a big build up to grand finals, and we've always had such a strong competition with Hawks, who we were in the grand final with, and because we had lost the one game, drawn, and won once against them as well, so it was kind of like all that hard work throughout the year and also last year has really paid off.
Tell us a bit about your Premiership coaches.
So we had co-coaches this year. We call them the Dans. So we had Dan Roden and Danny Carston. And we really couldn't be any luckier to have those two coaches. They're a bit like yin and yang with each other. But no, I couldn't speak more highly of them. I love them as individuals and as coaches. And I think that having them in the club is just invaluable to us.
I completely agree. They're just such amazing people on and off the court. So yeah, can't speak highly enough.
Obviously, you're winning the Premiership. Obviously, you got your Premiership medals on the day. I guess, actually, do either you got your Premiership medals there now?
Mine's in my wardrobe just behind me somewhere.
Yeah, mine's in my room, hanging up somewhere. Yeah.
Fair enough. So my question I want to ask both of you is, how long did you wear your Premiership medals around your necks after the game?
She had 2 medals jingling on her neck because she got the player of the finals. So I could hear Hayley jingling around all night.
I think I passed the MVP medal around. I think at least everyone got it once on the night. I didn't take my Premiership medal off for a long time. It was a few days I had it on, actually. I was embracing it.
Considering you shared your MVP medal around to your team, did you ever feared that you might never get it back at any stage?
There were a few moments there. It was on the night when we were celebrating, and I gave it to a couple of other people's friends, and I was like, I don't know if I'm going to get it back. But I thought, look, if it is what it is, if I lose it, I lose it. It'll be in good hands either way. So I just didn't really mind who had it at that stage.
Tell us, how good was it to that Hayley managed to give you her MVP medal for a while?
I was just super proud of Hayley. She's one of our, you wouldn't believe it because she's so tall, but she's actually one of our younger ones in the team. And she's our big, tall target shooter who we really rely on. So she stepped it up in the grand final, and I would have hands down given it to her. So I was just stoked that she got it.
Comes as a surprise to you, Hayley?
It did, because it kind of I didn't feel like I played a bit of an outstanding game. It was kind of like everyone that put all their effort into it, and I wouldn't have been able to get that MVP without anyone else on the court, because I just try and do my job, which is just shooting the goals. The girls out the front getting all the intercepts and feeding the balls into me just make me look good. So yeah, it's definitely all up to the other girls as well.
Who got to hold the Premiership Cup first?
Shell.
Yeah, that was me. Being captain, one of my duties to do the post-game speech and get the trophy, and actually got to hand all the medals out as well. So that was awesome.
So how good was it to hold the Premiership Cup before the rest of the team swarmed onto you?
Oh, I think the best moment when you get the cup is when you bring it back to the team, to be honest. And when you get it back to the club rooms, we tried to unscrew it and have a little drink out of the cup. And I think the previous team who had won it left a sneaky note in there actually for us, because we're quite rivals with those teams. So that was quite a funny moment with the cup.
Do you mind me asking what was said on that night?
Can you remember exactly what it said, Hayley?
I don't know if there was something. I don't think it was a note. I think it was a sticker.
Oh,
was it just a bumper sticker?
Yes, it was their club bumper sticker that they were trying to get us to put on one of our colours. It
was actually really funny. We opened it up like, oh, we didn't expect there to be a little present in there for us. So it was quite funny.
So was it stuck to the cup or was it just inside the cup?
It was just sitting in there for one of us to open, I think. I don't even know if they, but I never said anything to them.
Oh, okay. I know you're not meant to do this during COVID times, even though, Tassie hasn't had much COVID down there. But did either of you get to kiss the Premiership Cup at any stage?
Oh, I think we all had a bit of a drink out of the Premiership Cup.
But in a sense, yes.
Yeah. Quite an old cup. It's definitely been around, and it's starting to taste a little bit funky as the years go on. A little bit like method out of it. I don't know if we'll do that anymore.
I think she sprung a little bit of a leak as well. There was a little bit of a spillage. So we've learned our lesson.
Yeah, enough said on that one. You might as well tell us a bit about your teammates and how special they've been throughout the year.
We had a bit of like a newish look team this season just gone. We had a lot of new people coming into the team or people returning, and we had a lot of younger, like under 19s come up into the Opens team. So that was really exciting that we had a lot of fresh faces in the team. Everyone really gelled really well, and we all really got along well off court as well as on court, and I think that really played a role in how our performance played out last season, which is really good. And I was really proud of everyone, because everyone who was on the team and got named on the bench on the day, everyone got on court, which is really awesome. So that just kind of shows strength to say that we have so much depth and variety in our bench, and that just shows the type of club that we have as well, that we can rotate our bench as well, which is really exciting. So yeah, it was a really good season for everyone, and I think everyone should have been really proud of their performances.
Yeah, I think we were lucky having a team where you can speak so freely and openly with each other, which doesn't happen all the time, where you can freely give out feedback to each other and know that they'll take it in the right way. That being with coaches as well. So I think that was one of the biggest reasons why we did win the premiership, because of the open communication and the standard that we set with that right at the start of the year.
Tell us, how did both of you get involved in netball, and why did you choose it?
I accidentally got involved in netball when I was younger, when I think I was having a sleepover at a friend's house and she had netball training that day. So I just rocked up with her because I didn't want to stay home, and kept a little younger team. So that's how I got involved.
I think I was in primary school, and I used to play basketball, and then I stopped playing basketball. I followed in my sister's footsteps actually, and I wanted to be like my older sister. So that was the end of it. And yeah, the rest of it's history.
So both of you mentioned right at the start what position both of you play on the court. If you had a preferred position where you'd like to convince your coaches to put you in 2022, where would that be?
I'm constantly asking for the call up for goal attack, but I never get it. But no, I'm pretty happy in the centre. I'd be happy to stay there.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy in goal shooter at the moment. I do want to have a little bit of a venture out to goal attack, and I have had my little dabbling in the defensive end not this season just gone, but the one before. I don't really want to return there. I do like my home under the post, so yeah, somewhere still in the circle.
What's the sport of netball mean to both of you, especially being there at the F45 Cavaliers Netball Club?
I always say that being a part of the F45 Cavaliers is like a little netball family. I just love rocking up to training twice a week and on game day, knowing that it's social time as well as sports time. So I think it's a great way to meet people, to connect with people that you have like interests with. And most of my best friends these days are people that I've met in sport, because you just are going to the same places and doing the same things. So I absolutely love netball for the challenge as well as the social side.
Yeah, I completely agree. So I live an hour away from Launceston, so I travel a little bit. So it's really nice being able to separate my home life than being able to go to netball. So it's kind of like my little home away from home. And like Shelby said, being able to make all those friends and connections, it's like having another little family, which is really awesome. So that's what I love about the Cavs as well.
Well, sounds like obviously, and my question I was going to ask was whereabouts was the 45 Cavaliers base, and I think both of you just mentioned about where it is in Launceston. So I'm assuming your games are down in Hobart. Am I correct?
So we play all over the state. So some games are in Launceston, some are Hobart, and then we have one or two that are on the coast as well. So we share it around a little bit.
I guess, how do you prepare for games that you have to travel, especially down to Hobart?
Well, usually we try and carpool together. So we'll always try and pre-organise that before the weekend comes. But being on a Saturday, it depends. Sometimes our games can be 8 o'clock at night. Sometimes they can be 12 o'clock in the middle of the day. So I think it's just getting that schedule prepared prior. And we've got fantastic managers that give us a run sheet of times that we need to be there at the latest, because we always get there and watch our under 19 team have to be there ready to go. That's a non-negotiable for us. So then I think it's just working backwards what time you want to leave, if you want to have a little shop beforehand or
Either of you have any future ambitions in the sport of netball?
Well, I guess for me at this stage, just seeing where things go at the moment. So I guess for me, it's just like continuing on with my state league, hopefully being involved with future AMC programs, which is like the next step up that we can be here in Tasmania. But so there's been the ANC competition that's been supposed to happen for the last 2 years, but unfortunately with COVID, they haven't been able to go ahead. So I guess whatever we can do in this environment where COVID is happening, seeing where it takes us. But yeah, that's really for me at the moment.
Yeah, it's been quite tricky to stay motivated with goals, to be honest, throughout COVID, because I think the last 2 seasons we've put our heart and soul into training and to get to that level to play in the Australian Netball League. And then for it to be cancelled a few weeks prior and things like that. I don't think people understand the preparation that goes into that a whole season beforehand in the gym and at training and travelling and things like that. And particularly being in Tassie, those events are the only way that we can be exposed to the professional level, because we don't have a team. So really they're invaluable for us, and to have both of those cancelled the last 2 years has been really crappy.
I guess you can blame Victoria and New South Wales for that, I'm assuming. So I can say that being down here in Melbourne. But let's finish off a couple of light-hearted questions about your teammates. They're at the F45 Cavaliers. Firstly, who had the most embarrassing moment on the court this season, and what was it?
Oh, embarrassing.
I don't know. It just popped into my head when we were playing in the semi-final against Hawks when we beat them, and I went to shoot the ball. And so there's a rule in netball called replay.
Yes.
And basically you can't throw and then recatch, or you can't bounce it. And I went to shoot the ball and it probably went 10 centimetres out of my hand and I re-caught it. And that's not something you do when you get to this age. You probably do that when you're still in net, set, go.
Yeah.
So that was a very embarrassing moment for me. I'm not sure about anyone else on the court.
I think I just crack up anytime anybody gets a falcon to the face.
That's always great. Always great, a falcon. Or even just a big stack on the floor. You had a few of those, Shelby. You're always covered in bruises each week.
Yeah, I'm always on the floor.
I was going to ask, who copped the most falcons this year then?
I think I've definitely copped a few.
Yeah.
I think everyone, especially at training as well, there's been some absolute beauties at training.
Yeah, I think majority of the fatalities happen at training. There's a lot of little unsuspecting passes that go right into the face or other body parts as well.
Question I want to ask is, who's the comedian, the best singer, the best dancer on the team?
Best dancer. If we don't say Piper, we'll probably get killed. So Piper, she's one of our centre quarters. We love her to death, and she's an absolute TikTok queen. And she loves a good dance. Yeah, she's great.
I also think one of the comedians is someone who doesn't try to be funny, but she absolutely cracks me up. And that's Hannah Lenthal. She's not, before games, she likes to sort of go in the zone and do her own thing, but she comes out with some absolute beauties and she's not even trying to be funny. So I think she cracks me up the most.
Yeah, she's got some absolutely great one-liners. She's pretty funny. I don't really know best singer. We all have a fair bit of impact, I think, sometimes.
Oh, look, I wouldn't mind throwing myself in the ringer for the best singer.
Yeah. I think I nearly have to agree.
Nah, I think everyone commits pretty hard in the change room. We have a tradition that before each game, we get to pick a song. So it goes around each week. It might be your week to pick a song and have a quote. So we all get up and get around each other for that one.
Do either of you have a pre-game superstition or ritual?
I just like to have a routine more than anything. Just like being ready, having my hair done and ready, getting changed, strapped, being organised is probably my thing. I used to have a thing where I had to retie my shoelaces all the time in the warm-up, but I've gotten over that now. But yeah, more so just being organised than anything.
Yeah, I'm not so much about the organisation thing. I kind of just go with the flow on that. But I do wear the same lucky undies and bra every single week on game day without fail.
My last two is, how special is to play with each other on the same team and to share the premiership moment together?
Oh, I think that's why you pick team sports, really, so that you can share in these moments. We still sometimes will all be sitting around at training and be like, remember the time we won a premiership? Yeah, so I think if you did get to these kinds of accolades and things by yourself, you wouldn't really be able to enjoy with other people. So being able to do it with a team that you thoroughly enjoyed the process with and not just the achievement at the end, I think that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I think it's just being able to have those memories to look back on as well is pretty special. So yeah, and it's such a great time. And every single season or every single time you rock up to training, you're always learning something new about everyone. So you're always learning different little things, which is always fun. So it's like you're still getting to know them. So yeah, it's pretty special.
What would be your advice to people that should get involved in netball, especially the F45 Cavaliers? And the last question I want to ask on top of that is a lighthearted one as well, which is, how was the Premiership celebrations like afterwards?
Well, I would say come to the Cavaliers because you can win a premiership with us. No, to be serious about that one, I think joining a sporting team that challenges you and forces you to make connections and work with people is a really healthy thing to have, especially if you're busy in your life. Most of the girls in our team have work and uni and family things going on. But having somewhere that you have to come, you can't pull out, you're there twice a week, just gets you out of everyday life sometimes and gets you thinking about something else. So I think in that regard, it's such a fantastic thing to do.
Yeah, definitely. And along with that, like, yeah, staying fit, you're staying healthy, and that on top of being able to separate from other stuff in your life can do wonders for your health as well. So it's really good just maintaining those new relationships as well.
And the celebrations, we had so much fun. We went straight back to our club rooms at Hart Street at the tennis centre, where we're lucky to have a bit of a base from. So that's where we all met up, had a good dance at a good time, and then I think we just continued dancing pretty much until the night was finished.
Yeah, and then we went out for a lovely breakfast the next morning at one of our sponsors, Maple, in Launceston. So that was lovely as well.
Oh, we had a players trip as well this year. We went down to Hobart and had an Airbnb and stayed for a couple of nights. So we definitely well and truly celebrated more than just the one night.
Well, both of you, thank you so much for getting up your time to join us. It's awesome having both of you on the show. Congratulations on winning the TNL Premiership. Well deserved. And let's hope next year, back to back down there, up there at Launceston and dominating the competition there for the F45 Cavaliers.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
No worries. And that's Hayley and Shelby there, join us from the F45 Cavaliers Netball Club. And, of course, we're in the TNL competition, which, of course, They won it about 3 months ago now. And of course, if you want to get involved with the F45 Cavaliers Netball Club, we'll put all the details up on how you can get involved. There's more on the Smash Sport Show right after this. Don't go away here on the 10th year celebration.